Today's video is going over how to submit an assignment in Canvas. And before we can do that, our first step is kind of obvious. We need to go find that assignment. So I'm going to find it through modules, and here it is. Realize there's different ways to get to it depending upon your preference or how the instructor set the class up. Maybe you go through assignments, through your syllabus, through your calendar, but one way or another, get to the assignment and click on it. And we'll see a few things as we look at this. The first thing is we've got that box or that band in the center, and your instructor may have configured the class or the assignment differently. You may not see all of these, but some of the information that you should be able to see. What is the due date? How many points is it worth? When this assignment is going to be available? How you're going to submit it, and what types of files are acceptable. And we'll talk about those last two in a second. And you should, to the right, see a Submit Assignment button. If you don't, there's a bunch of reasons that could happen, but the two most common are, first, the due date is passed, and so you're not allowed to submit it anymore. If that happens, obviously talk to your instructor. And the second reason is this isn't an assignment that you can submit online. Maybe you have to hand something in directly to your instructor. Maybe it is an in-class assignment. Maybe it's something that's peer-reviewed, but for some reason it's not something that you can submit online. So be aware that that happens as well. But for this assignment, we do have our Submit Assignment link, and so we're going to click on it. And you'll notice we have a bunch of ways we can submit it. Again, your instructor may choose different options for your assignment, but we've made all of them active in this case. You may not see anywhere near as long of a list. The most common thing is the file upload, and that's exactly what it sounds like. You're probably very familiar with it. You just need to submit the file. So maybe you've made a diagram, you've written an essay, you've made a presentation, whatever it is that you're doing, and you just need to submit that file. We click on Choose File, and I'm actually going to choose an incorrect file. I'm going to try and submit a picture. And one of the things you'll notice, remember on the previous page it said that it had to be a Word document or a PDF file. So I get a warning saying this file is not allowed. Here's the acceptable types of files. So let's go back and do it the right way this time. There we are. And click on that, and now you'll notice no warning, and also the Submit Assignment button is now blue and ready. We do have an Add Another File link, and that is exactly what you would think if you have more than one file you're submitting at the same time. Maybe it's a couple of different assignments you've done. Maybe it's a multiple part assignment where you had like a diagram and an explanation. Whatever it is, if you need to submit more than one file, that's the link that you would click on. You also have a comment section if there's something you feel the instructor needs to know before they open the file. Maybe you did something slightly differently, or maybe you want to draw their attention to something that you did. You could write a comment in there, and your teacher will see that with your file submission. And so I'm going to click on Submit Assignment, and it should be up in a second. There we are. We see our box to the right that it's been submitted. If you don't see this, go back and do it again until you get this. You should say something. You should have something that confirms it was submitted. It gives you the date that it was done. It says it was turned in. It tells you what the file was. If there were any comments, it would have the comments in there as well. So we have that little summary that's telling us that we've submitted it successfully. Now, underneath there, you notice a Resubmit Assignment. There's two reasons you would use that. The first is a very common thing. A half second after you hit the Submit button, you go, ah, shoot, I accidentally submitted my rough draft of this assignment rather than the final version of it. Real common thing. Don't panic, don't freak out, don't email your instructor. You simply click on Resubmit Assignment, and you go back and go, oh, here's the right version of it that I want. And then click on Submit Assignment. And you'll notice there's another submission there, turned in at 1:23. So that's the new version. So if that ever happens, that's fine. The other reason you would see Resubmit Assignment is if your instructor grades, gives you a non-passing or non-acceptable grade for some reason and says you need to do it again and resubmit it. That's the link that you would use to go in and submit your updated and improved version of it. So that's all there is to submitting an assignment by file upload. I'm going to use this Resubmit Assignment link and talk about the other ones real brief. Text entry is incredibly simple. This is if your instructor just simply wants a quick answer. Maybe it's a definition of something. Maybe it's a type a quick paragraph about what you learned in class or what you learned from the experience, some feedback. But you just type it directly in. I learned a lot. Hopefully you'll do something better than that, because that's probably going to get an F if that's what you do, so don't do that. But we then click on Submit Assignment, and that's it. You type your short answer directly into it. And again, notice it's been turned in successfully. And when you go back here, there's a couple of other ones that aren't as common. I do want to draw your attention to Google Doc and Dropbox. If you use these, in most cases you can submit things directly from Google Docs or from Dropbox directly to your instructor. You'll simply need to go in and authorize it or log in properly, and then you'll be able to do that. For those of you who use iPads, smartphones, things like that, you may actually find it a lot easier to submit things that way directly. Another type of submission is a website URL. Not very common, but sometimes maybe you're creating a list of resources and you have to submit websites that you visited. Maybe for a project you had to actually create a website, you would just type the URL in right here and submit it. And then the last one is media. And what that is, you can click on this button, record and upload media, and you can either record something directly. One of the ways you might use this is, for example, you have to do a 1-minute introduction of yourself to the class. So you could do it that way, or you could click on upload media, and if you have a file that exists already, you could upload it. So those ones aren't nearly as common, but this kind of walks through the basics of how to submit an assignment. We're ready to go, so good luck.